is Buddhahood, right? Okay, one. Number, if you think of, if you think of, and if you think of, how many of you know Muhammad Ali? Muhammad Ali. Huh? I don't know if Leon knows it, otherwise we all should be knowing it. All those who are 40 plus should know. You know him, okay. So, who's Muhammad Ali?
He was a boxer.
Not just a boxer, don't say just a boxer, legendary boxer.
Yeah.
Right, like not just a boxer, there are so many, not just a champion, there are so many champions. Legendary boxer, a boxer, right? Someone who's so outstanding, one outstanding out of 1 century, 2 centuries. Champion, there are so many champions coming. Every year there are new champions coming up, right? Legendary boxer. And how did he become such a legendary boxer?
He was
right? Imagine. He was trained by his mother. If his mother is a coach, do you think that he'll become a legendary boxer? He will never become a legendary boxer. Mother will never punch him. He'll hit like this. He will never learn how to stop the punches. You getting it? So therefore, who made him become a legendary boxer? Somebody who punched him so hard. And who are they? The difficult ones who really competed with him. You getting it? So therefore, only with those difficult people, you will learn how to grow. With a soft mother like this, you will never grow, into Buddhahood. Right? So think of it this way, we see that the difficult people, they are not the difficult people. They are the ones who give you the opportunity to grow. You're getting it? So therefore, in our life, see this very important message. In our life, we are bound to face challenges and difficulties. Right? We are bound to face challenges and difficulties. See if you can eventually see the challenges and difficulties not as challenges but as opportunities. Because it is through these challenges you learn how to overcome the challenges. That is when you go to the next phase of the life, next brilliant phase of the life. So this is how you grow. Growth takes place, particularly in spiritual journey. The growth takes place when you learn how to overcome the challenges. So the challenges are the incredibly great opportunities for us to grow spiritually. So therefore, challenges also in terms of people, we call them as difficult people. They are the best of your teachers, and they are in fact the kindest. Meaning that somebody who gives you the most important thing, we consider, okay, who do you think is the kindest? There are 3 people, right? There are 3. One gives you 10 shekel. Another gives you 1,000 shekel. Another person gives you 1,000,000 shekel. Who's the kindest? Huh? Naturally, somebody who gives you 1,000,000, right? Naturally. So therefore, the one who gives you the maximum benefit, that person is the kindest to you. Right? One. That person is the one to whom your mind will flow most intensely. Because you crave for, you're fed up with samsara, sickness, aging, death, fear, tension, depression, endless problem. Becoming Buddha, achieving Buddhahood, all these problems come to an end, and your happiness simply becomes infinite. Who gave you this infinite happiness? The difficult person. Right? So therefore, when you feel that, literally you will feel your mind will flow, your mind will just dash towards the difficult people. Your mind will flow so powerfully towards the difficult people. This flow of the mind is known as love and affection. And you feel that love and affection is greatest towards the difficult people. This is what literally will happen. You getting it? Okay. In fact, in my life, there is one very difficult person in my life since my childhood. Don't ask me who is that. There's one person, very difficult. And when I was age, say him, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, particularly say a boy becoming age like 14, 15, 16, becoming more and more self-sufficient, physical strength coming, becoming so angry towards that person, right? And then at the age, say, they join the monastery, and then Bodhicitta practice, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, except for this person, right? That started. And then, no, if I cannot have this love and affection with this person, then my saying, may I to become Buddha is just a fake, it's not true, right? Then struggle, and slowly my attitude towards the person becomes neutral. That animosity, that corrosive feeling slowly faded away, disappeared, neutral. Then, if neutral is not sufficient, you have to love. You have to feel this feeling of the closeness, affection, compassion. But that is not coming. Again, through more practice, more practice, then slowly the feeling of, because this person is very difficult, not only to me, to everyone around that person. Don't ask me who that is. Everyone around that person, everyone. Then later on, I started to feel so, I would just be like defending this person. The moment other people start backbiting this person, spontaneously, I started defending the person, spontaneously. Not like forcefully or, through forcing myself. No, you're practicing Bodhicitta, you have to, defend the person like this. No, naturally it is coming, right? So therefore, if one practices, this is what is bound to happen, right? Even to the difficult people, your mind will start flowing, and then at that point, you really become like a mother, and everyone, difficult people, you see like your own child, a very difficult child, right? Parents have some of the children, they're very cooperative, some are very difficult, so naughty, mischievous, but in the eyes of mother, mischievous child is still the child. So much love and affection. So this is what you feel. At that point, you see that anything that happens around the difficult people, right? They're all like the small children who are being under the sway, under the control of the self-centered attitude and self-grasping. You start to feel compassionate towards them, right? And then you will not be agitated. Difficult person, no feeling of agitation will come to you, right? Okay, so this is extremely important practice. Now stanza the step 7. Up to step 7, we successfully say feel the benefit, tremendous benefit from the near and dear ones, neutral people, and the difficult people, right? Now, the moment you feel the benefit from all these 3 quarters of the people, then your mind will flow towards them. Your mind will forcefully flow towards them. That flow of the mind is known as mind feeling close to them. Feeling close to them is love and affection. Now your love and affection flows towards every sentient being. Right? So when your love and affection flows towards every sentient being, there's no enemy left now. There's no enemy left now. There's no stranger. Everyone is your near and dear ones. Okay. Now, the feeling of love and affection that you feel towards them is much more than the feeling of love and affection the mother feels towards her only child. When that happens, that is the step up to 7. What is step 8? Altruism. Okay, altruism. Now what is altruism? Altruism is, okay, so say between step 7 and step 8. Between step 7 and step 8, there is one step which is implicit. It's not explicitly said there, but it's implicit. That is great compassion. Great compassion is the step which is in between, not explicitly said, but it is implicit that you have to add it. Great compassion. So now you at this point, up to step 7, you feel so close, so loving towards all sentient beings. Now the next is, if you love them so much, you want to equally give benefit to them. You like to give benefit to them. You like to help them. But what is the plight of these beings? What is the plight? The plight of the beings, these beings to whom you love so much, is terrible. The beings are suffering terribly because of this self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance. Right? Up to this point, you struggled so much. So you struggled, you fought with the self-grasping ignorance. Now they are not fighting with self-grasping ignorance. So they are being submerged into the self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance. With these two things, they will only give rise to miseries. How do you know that these two things will give rise to miseries? Do you know anything what the Buddha said? These two things will give rise to miseries. Do you remember anything of what we've learned thus far?
Ignorance.
Is there anything that we used to practice in the mornings? Also 4 seals, yes. Which seal? Second one. Wonderful. All contaminated things are of suffering nature. And the worst of the contaminations, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. As long as one is under these two contaminations, will only give rise to miseries. And these beings, all the sentient beings to whom you love so much now, they are captivated. They are ensnared by the two demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. As long as they are under these two demons, there's never freedom for them. There's always they're into suffering. Yet you love them so much. You love them so much, and they are into acute suffering, excruciating pain. What is your reaction? No reaction. The reaction is that may you be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. This is your natural reaction. This reaction is known as compassion. Compassion. Okay. Now with this compassion, what is your compassion? What is the attitude of this compassion? What was this thinking of this compassion? May all you be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. It's amazing. The next question. What's the next question? Not how. Who's going to do it? Right? Who will do it? Okay, yes, it's a good question. Maybe the Buddha will do it. Or maybe His Holiness will do it. Okay, not me. Okay, no, I will do it. I will do it. That is step number 8, altruism. I will take the responsibility that the beings, all my dear sentient beings, are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I will do it. This is altruism. Okay, next. What's the next question? No, I said that I will do it. Then what is the next question? How are you going to do it? How? You can't even take care of yourself, right? How can you take care of all sentient beings? That's very true. That's very true. Okay, now we explore in the history of humanity. Was there anyone who was able to successfully do that? So then in the history of humanity, you discover that 2,500 years ago, there was one young prince by the name Prince Siddhartha, right? And every day we are reading this stanza, the 2 lines, you remember that? From page 3. Page 3, I think we already explained this also. We started the day 1 retreat. Day 1 of the retreat with this stanza, with these 2 lines. Stanza, page 3, and these 2 lines are taken from Pramana Samuchaya. Pramana Samuchaya written by Pramana Samuchaya, the text written by Acharya Dignaga. Acharya Dignaga, who wrote, the one who has transformed into the reliable. So this is referring to the Buddha. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. So what made him to, what motivated this young prince, Siddhartha, to leave the palace and go in search of the path? What motivated him? Motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, wanting to benefit the sentient beings, right? So now we already reached the altruism. And what it says here is altruism. Now we are at the same level, right? Altruism. With altruism, then what did he do? Eventually, what did he do? With the altruism to benefit sentient beings, then he became the teacher, the Sugata, and the protector. And then he became the reliable guide. What means the reliable guide? Somebody who became the fully awakened one, right? Fully awakened one who is endowed with 3 perfect qualities. Endowed with 3 perfect qualities: perfect love, perfect knowledge, and perfect power. right? Someone who becomes so reliable guide. Reliable guide should have three qualities. Reliable guide should have three qualities: perfect knowledge, perfect love, and perfect power. Reliable guide should have three qualities: perfect knowledge, perfect love, and perfect power. Okay, why do we need these three qualities? Without these three qualities, you cannot be the most reliable guide. To be the most reliable guide, to lead all beings from suffering to enlightenment, Buddhahood, we need these three qualities. Why? Okay, let's explore this. The first quality?
Knowledge.
Perfect knowledge. Knowledge, love, and power. Okay, let's say you are aged 10 years old. No, so let's say the 14 years old. 14 years means which class? 14 years. Huh? Let's say class 8. You're in class 8, 14 years old. And then your father tells you that, hey, study well, my daughter, my son, you have to study well. If you study well, I'm there to help you. Right? Whatever help that you need, I'll give you the help. And then your exam is approaching. It's science exam, right? And then you start to panic. Okay, how am I going to do that? You remember your father's word. You went to your father, asked your father, now father, you promised me to help me. I want to study. I will study so well. Please teach me science. My science exam is coming now. Your father said, I'm very sorry. When I was in school, I always failed in science. So your father cannot help you. Why your father cannot help you? Because he's lacking knowledge. You're getting it? If you're lacking the knowledge, you cannot really help others. So you should have the knowledge. And to help somebody perfectly, you should have the perfect knowledge. Perfect knowledge. And the father said, okay, don't worry. Our next door neighbor is a physicist. The university professor, a professor of physics, professor of science in Tel Aviv University. Right? Tel Aviv University, this university? Okay, Tel Aviv University. He's one of the most renowned, senior-most professors. Okay, he will teach you. Then you go there, knock at the door of the university, the professor. What do you want? Hey, young girl, what do you want? My science exam is coming. Please teach me science. Okay. 2,000 shekels per hour. 2,000 shekels per hour. How expensive is that? Very expensive. You know that I'm a very senior professor, right? So I don't have time, but I can give you time. You are my neighbor, right? 2,000 shekels per hour. Then you rush to your father. He's asking 2,000 shekels per hour. Oh no. Okay. If this professor who's so learned, even though he has a tremendous knowledge, even he cannot help you. What's the problem with him? He's lacking the love. So if somebody really wants to benefit you, the person must be perfected in love, number 2. And then you go to the father, and the father felt so sad, you also feel so sad. Suddenly the father said, don't worry, your mother, although she's not a professor in science, but she was a topper in science when she was in school. She can help you, right? And your mother will come at 6 o'clock after her job, after work. So your mother came, and you jump into the mother, and mother, please don't come close to me, right? Because I went to a conference and I ate a stale food and I have a stomach problem, I have a stomach pain, right? Even the mother cannot help you. Mother went to bed and sleep, right? Even your mother cannot help you. Mother is lacking what? The knowledge? She has knowledge. Mother is lacking love? She has love. What is she lacking? The power, right? So somebody to infallibly help you, infallibly, the person must be endowed with these 3 perfect qualities: perfect knowledge, perfect love, and perfect power, right? Somebody who achieves that state, that is known as the fully awakened one, whose Buddha nature has become fully awakened, that no limitations stop the person from benefiting others. Okay, so that is known as the Buddha. Wow! If this is something like this, if this is how this young prince reached to this level of awakening his Buddha nature, now becoming perfected in 3 qualities, and having become the reliable guide, as said in the text, reliable guide. This is what I like to become. I like to become the reliable guide to lead all dear mother sentient beings towards Buddha. Buddhahood. Amazing. Then you may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. That is number 9, step 9. What is step 9? Bodhicitta. Right? Okay. So this is how we have to practice. Only by practicing, then we can see the change happening. Otherwise, we cannot expect the changes happening simply because we go into, say, simply by going into wisdom of emptiness all the time, tantra, right? Very sophisticated teaching, high class teaching, here, there. Without the practice of bodhicitta, no way we are entitled for the tantric practice, we are entitled for the sophisticated practice and so forth. And with the wisdom of emptiness, without the bodhicitta, at most you can become arhat, right? Personal, say, you can become a personal shravaka arhat, right? You will never follow the bodhisattva path, unfortunately, right? So therefore, to make sure that what are you doing is of the incredible benefit is by the practice of bodhicitta. And this practice, after knowing how to practice, if you don't practice it, then it is our fault. If you don't know how to practice it, then you are not to be blamed. But after knowing what these steps are so meticulously designed by these great saints. So after knowing what these steps are, if you don't practice it, then it is this is bad on your side. Okay, now this bodhicitta, the moment you generate this bodhicitta, say, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all. So sometimes it can be very intense feeling. Sometimes it may not be so intense. So if you require these steps, to reach to this level of the experience, a very moving experience, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, this is known as the contrived bodhicitta. Contrived bodhicitta, meaning that bodhicitta with effort, you have to put effort to get to this experience. Contrived bodhicitta. So when you are on the level of the contrived bodhicitta, still this is not a full-fledged bodhicitta. Contrived bodhicitta is not full-fledged bodhicitta. Full-fledged bodhicitta is the uncontrived bodhicitta. Contrived meaning with effort. And with the contrived, even with the contrived, you have already reached a great success of the practice. Amazing. Now to make it spontaneous, you put more effort. Keep practicing it, then it becomes spontaneous. The moment it becomes spontaneous, it becomes a full-fledged bodhicitta. Okay, the moment you have the full-fledged bodhicitta, you become a bodhisattva. It doesn't matter whether you're a boy, girl, educated, uneducated, whether you're high, low, it doesn't matter, you become a bodhisattva. The moment you become a bodhisattva, the celestial beings, even the kings of the gods and goddesses, Indra, Brahma, they will come down to make prostrations to you. Right? Okay, and all the Buddhas will cherish you so much. The way the king has his first son born will be cherished by everybody because he is going to become the king, the future king. So that everybody will make sure that you are being well protected. Likewise, the moment you become Buddha, you become a Bodhi, you generate bodhicitta, you enter to become a bodhisattva, right? You become like the son or the daughter of the Buddha, right? So every Buddha will bless you to make sure that you will continue to grow. Gati, parasamati, bodhisattva. At that point, you have entered into the first gati, right? At that point, you have entered into the first gati. Then our job is to keep growing, right? Gati, paragati, just keep growing.
Is there a difference between the bodhicitta which is required to enter the path and the bodhicitta which someone gains just before Buddhahood or as a Buddha? And how is it different? What is the...
Let's say it again, your question.
Bodhicitta is required to enter the path.
Enter the Bodhicitta is required. Bodhicitta required. Required meaning required for you to become a bodhisattva. To enter the first path.
To
Yes.
enter the path. Is there a difference?
Enter the minor path.
The Maya. Is there a difference between that bodhicitta
And
and the bodhicitta? The bodhicitta the yogi has on
when
the,
you are close to becoming
a
Buddha.
Buddha and a Buddha.
Okay, so this is a good question. Say Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. Right? So say the fifth one is the Buddhahood. The first four are the Bodhisattva path. First four. So the Bodhicitta on the first Gate, Bodhicitta on the second Gate, Bodhicitta the Paragate, Bodhicitta Parasamgate is the difference. Difference amongst the Bodhicitta on these four different levels. The answer is yes. Yes, there is a difference in intensity. There's a difference in the vastness of the thinking. Right? There's a difference in the refinedness of the thinking. Gold, right? If 60% pure gold is also gold, 80% gold is also gold, 90% gold is also gold, 99% is also gold, right? Yet, although they are all gold, but within the gold you see the difference in the purity of the gold. Likewise, bodhicitta, within the bodhicitta, we see that there's a difference in the refinedness of the bodhicitta. There is difference.
But it has to be spontaneous, even as
That one, gold means it should be gold.
gold.
Gold means gold, but the gold differs in the purity. Likewise, bodhicitta should be a spontaneous bodhicitta. Simply because it is spontaneous doesn't mean that, say for example, anger. Say a small child becomes very angry, and the elderly like us, not elderly, right? So we who are like plus 40, 50, right? We become angry, and how a small child becomes angry is very different. Small child becomes angry, it's just the desperateness, finish. Whereas we, anger, the planning happens. Planning happens. Very sophisticated, right? Okay. Sure. What is it? Right. Okay. Okay. So now, I'll say this moment, this bodhicitta arises in you. This bodhicitta, we oftentimes recite this. May the precious bodhicitta arise. What is that prayer? In Tibetan, Chanju Simjo Rinpoche, Maike Panam Kikuchi, Kewa Nyamba Mebayan, Kone Kondo Pevra Show. Where is this prayer in English? Huh? Okay, it's there. 308. Page 308. Okay, it says, may the Supreme Bodhicitta, better translation would be, may the precious Bodhicitta. This is a better translation. May the, page 308, the last stanza, the last stanza, yes. May the Supreme Bodhicitta, instead of Supreme, the better translation is, may the precious Bodhicitta. Okay, so here, this bodhicitta is described as the precious one. Precious one in Tibetan is Rinpoche, right? We say Rinpoche, Rinpoche, I'm going to see Rinpoche. The real Rinpoche is the bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. Anybody, whether you're a girl, boy, monastic, non-monastic, rich, poor, it doesn't matter. Anybody who generates this bodhicitta, you are a real Rinpoche. Right? You are a real Rinpoche. So if you really want to become a Rinpoche yourself, rather than calling someone as a Rinpoche, practice bodhicitta. The moment you generate bodhicitta in yourself, you become Rinpoche. So this is what is meant by, this is how the Rinpoche, this is how people call it, how the learned ones, how the evolved saints consider something as a Rinpoche, precious one. Right? Okay, how the ordinary people consider Rinpoche and how the learned ones consider Rinpoche is very different. How the learned ones consider Rinpoche will not see whether label, whether